Hey guys! Today is going to be just a little bit of a sit in the shade and talk about seeds kind of video. So I wanted to go through the seeds that I direct sow here in my zone 6. I always like hearing how people use different things and like what they use from seed and just different varieties. So I figured I would share what I use here in zone 6. Some of these are new, some I did grow last year. And then, yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys kind of the varieties that I'm going to be using. So some of this stuff is for me venturing into cut flowers. So like zinnias and sunflowers and cosmos, African daisies, amaranth, just different things like that is more for like the cut flower stuff that I want to do. But I also like to tuck in seeds where I can, and then I can have pretty flowers in the flower beds in different places, things that like shade a little bit better, just different varieties that I really like or that really caught my eye from my seed haul that I did in the winter of this last year. So I'm just going to go through these and kind of explain why I picked them and for what I will be using them. So the first ones that I have are Calendula, which I never grew before. And so I really wanted to try this one. They're really good for skin, calendula flowers, and I have read a lot of good things about them, having them in the garden. So I really want to incorporate these for medicinal and culinary uses. Calendula does overwinter, but I think I have to take it inside. It says frost hardy, but I'm not quite sure what the zone is. So I'm really curious if these will make it like over our winter. But I know some people do bring them inside and then put them back out again. So the three varieties that I have, the first one is called a Flashback mix. And then I have a Snow Princess, which I don't know if you can see, but there's like little red tips on the ends of that. And then a Pacific Beauty mix. So I am going to plant these in the garden areas and maybe in I will be doing a perennial herb garden behind the house, but I'm not quite sure how far into that project we'll get this year. So I will just incorporate them wherever else I can. And then these are some of the things that I will be using for cut flowers. Mostly I have these African daisy, blue disc African daisies. It says it thrives in heat, so we'll see how it does here. Then I have Amaranth. So this one says Love Lies Bleeding. Amaranth, really pretty like flowing flowers for bouquets. And then I have Amaranth Hot Biscuits. Love in a Mist. This is Miss Jekyll blend. And this one says it self-seeds pretty easily, so this is something I would love to add to like an herb garden or in places where I just want to kind of let it do its thing. Then these I put in too late last year, so I'm really excited to try these again. But they're purple hyacinth beans, so it's a vine, and they have really pretty purple blooms. So I want this on one of the first arbors when you go into the garden. Then I have Hollyhocks, which is more for my personal garden, but I have a majorette double champagne and a jet black. And then I have one that's called Indian Spring and the Watchman. Hollyhocks were really inspired by Jess from Roots and Refuge. I really loved how hers looked in her garden, so I definitely bought into those. Alright, next is sunflowers. I have quite a variety of sunflowers. So I have a Mammoth, Gray Stripe, and some of these I will not be using for cut flowers just because they have a bunch of pollen on them. if I do, it'll be for me personally. And then some of these I bought specifically for cut flowers because they don't have pollen in their center, or very little if they do. So I have a vanilla ice sunflower, a Rouge Royale sunflower. So like this one, in its description it says really good for cutting. It has really long stems, a long lasting vase life, and just stuff like that. That's really for cut flowers. Then a golden honey bear. This one, Botanical Interest actually gave me. It's just a tall sunflower, so I'll probably tuck that in somewhere. And then I have a chocolat sunflower. These are really pretty. And this one's called Zohar. Lemon Queen. And two more. Evening Sun. And a Drop Dead Red sunflower. So I really like the reddish burnt colors, just because these will be, really a lot of them will be more in the fall. So I really like seeing sunflowers close to when you see pumpkins and all of that stuff. So then I have a bunch of cosmos. So cosmos are really good self-seeding flowers as well. I have a bunch of these. First one is called Double Dutch Rose. This one reminded me of Viviana, so that's why I bought that one. And then I have an Apricot Lemonade, Busy Rose, I'm not sure how to say that last word, Picote, something like that. Rubenza, which is like a red. Xanthos, a really pretty buttery yellow color. Double Click Blend. I did save seeds from the ones from last year that I planted, which is a Sensation Blend. So I'm sorry if you can't see this. I just put them back in this packet. And then one that's called Candy Stripe. Those are mostly all for cutting, but I will put some probably up by the house too. Then I have zinnias. So this is called Lilliput. I kind of just got a really good blend of colors because like I'm really new to cut flowers, so as far as putting colors together and all of that happy jazz, I'm learning. Northern Lights blend. Pink Senorita. Queen Lime Red. Polar Bear. El Dorado. So those are the different color zinnias that I have, but figured those would give me some options of colors to put together. And then some of the other seed, like flower seeds that I'll be doing, are nasturtium and herbs. So all of the herbs that I didn't plant, which would be like cilantro, fennel, borage, which is also a really good self-seeder, dill, my other dill blend. I'm going to do more chamomile, which you can actually maybe see it behind me. Those white flowers, that really tall plant right here. They overwintered really well, which is really impressive actually, because it says it's an annual. So, and we had a pretty cold winter, so I was pretty impressed. I'm gonna do some basil seeds and just see how they do, because I did start basil plants, but I'm going to just direct seed some of this basil and see how it does. Then I have a trailing nasturtium, an Alaska variegated nasturtium, and a jewel blend nasturtium. And then, like I said, I'm going to do some more basil from seed. So the nasturtiums are pretty much all going to go into the garden. I do want to put the trailing one over an arbor, but those are the seeds that I'm going to be putting in the garden space yet and in my flower beds. Because why not? But a lot more cut flower stuff, and then just stuff for me personally. But then I'm pretty much done with seeds, I'm pretty sure. Just other than like succession sowing. So that just means like every 3 weeks certain plants you can successively sow so that you have a continuous harvest throughout the entire season. So like beans, I'm trying to think, carrots. I can do carrots for a little bit yet, but some of this stuff, like, you have to wait until it starts getting a little bit later into the summer so that it doesn't just like bolt, because like stuff like that is more of a cool season crop. But like certain things like lettuce, depending on what varieties you have, you can like sow lettuce and spinach and a bunch of different greens. Swiss chard maybe you could do. I'm pretty new to successively sowing stuff, but I really wanted to get really good at that this year. So I'm going to just try things out to see like how much heat it can tolerate in our areas, different varieties. I hope that was helpful, guys. I do have some of my started seed flowers that still need to go into the ground, so I might work on that stuff. It's a really pretty day, feels really good in the shade. The sun's not super hot today. So I will be planting more things. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time.